Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the show. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Oh, we have an election day special in 24 hours time. We could be in a new era. We could all be, massively rich, or we could still be pre-rich. The question is, what's it going to be? Trump or Scamala? It all hinges actually on Pennsylvania on the vote, but either way, Bitcoin is going to moon long term. Don't worry about the short term swings. A lot of people are de-risking before the election, like absolute little bitches. Don't de-risk. De-risking means that you don't believe in what you're doing. Don't de-risk. Just have conviction. Believe in something. Believe in something. I believe that whatever happens today, and it's a very important. Don't get me wrong. This is a very, very important election. It's a very important election. What? Don't get me wrong. Whatever happens today will determine the future of a lot of things in this world. But how are these things going to age? Like, am I going to be able to post about this? Tomorrow we have 3 people listening. Hopefully, they're not bots. But we're gonna get the bots in here in a second. Let's get the bots involved. Let's get the bots involved. Let's see that everyone's joining. Mati will join us soon. So if you are listening in, let us know where you're tuning in from and who you are and what you do. And we're going to start picking up these shows again. I was on holiday a little bit, and it takes a bit of time to get started after those vacation. But hopefully we're going to ramp it up. The aim of this show, the aim of the Yalla Bitcoin Breakfast Show is to spotlight founders that are actually making a difference with groundbreaking technology. So we have a lot of innovation in crypto that is just, for the sake of speculation. And there's a value to speculation. There's a certain value to speculation. Don't get me wrong, but that's not where we're at. We want to bring to the foreground the founders that are actually improving this world that we're living in and making it a better place for humanity through whatever technology it is they're building. So stay tuned. We have a great roster up for the season. The winter season is going to be a banging time for the other Bitcoin Breakfast Show. Where is Mati Greenspan? He should be coming in soon. Asaf is in the house. Hey Asaf, what's happening? How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, good. How are you? We're gonna wait for Mati a little bit, and then we're gonna kick it off. I see you wearing swag. So everyone knows what you're rocking. We're gonna get into exactly what it is you're building, and I hope you've got a demo prepared for us because I know when we met in the airport, you had a demo ready to go. And what we love to do on the show is go, get practical with the user, help people, show people what they're getting into, and not just talk shit the whole time. Mati Greenspan, how are you? It's good to see you in the on a camera again after quite a long absence, at least for me.
You know what? You started 5 minutes ago. You said 11. I don't know what's going on here. You start without me.
No, I went live so that I could have the link going and whatever. And this is I'm still getting back into the game. Like as you can see, all our Indonesian friends are starting to pop in. They've woken up as well. So we have I kind
Good
of
morning, bots.
I had to just preempt the show in order for us to be ready. But
meet you.
Nice to meet you,
but Mati, Asaf, Mati, welcome to the show. I don't know if you guys have met before, but Asaf and I met at the airport actually in Singapore. Asaf's flight got cancelled, and while his flight was cancelled, he was showing me while he was running to organize another flight. He was showing me his DeFi project, which is it's very very cool. Like I remember it from its previous incarnation as Kirobo, but they've since rebranded into Intentable and built something really really cool for automating they call it the Zapier of DeFi, automating a lot of DeFi things, and something like something simple like payroll, for example. That's something that you showed me how you can send money to a bunch of different transactions at once, like sort of batch transactions. Like that's super useful, especially someone like myself. I get paid in crypto, and I could imagine, and I'll pay people in crypto as well. So to create these payroll solutions for crypto, and to have people have that integrated with DeFi, that's very cool. But before we get into that, let's
you have to pay 300 Indonesians, $5 each, and
yeah. If you want it free, if you want to test,
nobody's sitting there doing 300 transactions.
So before we get into that, Mati, how are you doing? How are you feeling on this special day? Let's talk about the kind of, we call it in Hebrew, in Yanei de Yomad, the issues of the day, which is November the 5th, the first Tuesday of November in 2024. It means one thing. The US is going to the polls. Some people have already gone to the polls. I assume, Mati, you've already put in your vote. Maybe tell me a bit about how that works as well, like the early voting. What have we seen from the results? But in general, just kind of what are your vibes on election day? You've been calling for a Trump landslide. Do you still feel that way on the day itself?
Absolutely. Never felt more confident in the outcome of an election as I do today. Happy to share my screen with you here. I've been calling for a landslide victory for Trump for months now, and I even put out a map on Twitter that basically shows just about everything in red. I think that Kamala might take a few states, but the way that this works, the electoral election is that they need to get 270 points or electoral votes in order to win the election. And each state is winner takes all. Most states are winner takes all. So California, for example, is 54 points. Florida's 30 points, and Texas is 40. Obviously, there's no chance in hell that that Trump is losing in Texas, not with the border crisis that's happening over there. But I have a feeling that this is going to be over relatively quickly. People are asking, like, when will we know the results? So I think it's going to be very soon, because I did a thought experiment yesterday. It's only these 4 states that really matter. So Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. North Carolina, we know that there was just a huge flood over there that Biden-Harris administration totally botched. So let's just paint that red for now. Pennsylvania, as far as I'm getting indications, we get in red. So if we get just those 2 states alone, that's already 270 pretty much. If we get all 4 states, it's closed. It's a done deal, because at that point, you can paint most of the rest of these, flyover states blue, and it's not going to matter. You've already got the 270 that you need.
I
feel like there's a chance, though, a real big chance, that one of these flips red, either California or New York.
You think California or New York can flip red? That would be.
I'll tell you why. Because
Bitcoin would go to 300,000 overnight.
They've eliminated. They've actually made it illegal in California to request ID when you're voting. So how do they verify who's voting and who's not voting and how many times you voted? How is it possible? It's not possible anymore because they've made it illegal to ask for even a driver's license to vote. So people are, literally walking into the polls. They don't even ask you who you like. You can say your name, and they don't even need proof of that you're a citizen or anything like that in order to vote. So, and people are pretty fed up with the current administration. It all boils down to, if Trump really was, as they're saying, a Nazi and wanted to hurt, the United States, he would have done that his first term. And if, Kamala Harris really wanted to save the United States or help the United States, she would have done that during her first term. So people are not dumb. They see what's going on. And I think that I believe that this entire map is going to be read by tomorrow morning our time.
So that's I'd love to see New York or California be taken over. I mean, when I did this map, I played around with it. It comes down to, if Kamala takes Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, she's won with all the others that expected to happen. And I think that's 270 on the dot. And, I think Pennsylvania is where she might regret what her decision, because, obviously she had a choice to make the governor of Pennsylvania a VP pick, and she didn't. She chose Mr. Tampon Tim instead, in order to pander to the anti-Semitic elements within the Democratic Party. And it could be that tight. I'm hoping it's not. There are some indications from early voting in terms of just the discrepancy between 2024 and 2020 that are positive for the Republicans. But if it is a tight race, then it could hinge on a few, what we are essentially Jewish crypto voters that in Pennsylvania that are voting Trump and that swing the election. So hopefully it's a landslide. Hopefully we get that big pump. Either way, what are your plans for election night? Are you staying up the whole night? Because I think the results were only the last West Coast. Oh, that's what we.
This is Reagan Mondale, 1984. I believe we're gonna have a repeat of that. This last time that happened was 50 years ago. So.
Oh wow! You think
40 years? Sorry, 40 years.
I don't see places like Oregon and Vermont voting Trump.
Washington D.C. Well, we'll see. I think Washington. I think Washington State. I think what's his name? Bill Gates may have bought that. Honestly, he paid a lot of money. He may have bought Washington State. So that's why in my map that I put out on Twitter a few days ago, Washington's blue, and then maybe another one of these small East Coast states. DC almost for sure, because she's got it there. My plan is live stream starting at 3 a.m. our time, and so that'd be 7 p.m. I think on the East Coast. And then I'm gonna stay on for a couple of hours. So I feel like this is gonna be over very quickly. I think we're gonna see the initial results, and people are just gonna go, okay, let's just call it already. And it's gonna take a while till this map materializes. So that'll be morning our time.
Yeah, I mean the polls in the West Coast, Hawaii and Alaska close quite late, but by then it's going to be over. So the polls in the West Coast close at 11 p.m. Eastern, which is 5 p.m.
They're not going to be the deciding votes there, though.
5 a.m. Our time. So I think about 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. our time, we will have a verdict on who is the president of the United States. I mean, maybe I'll join you. I need to order some herbal remedies and wake up 3 a.m.
You're absolutely welcome.
We'll get on a live stream and just. I mean, I want to just be like the pump funds are going to be off the charts tonight. Like the pump fund is going to be the meme coin kind of craze has taken a little bit of a break in the last week or so, but tonight's just going to be a day for trading memes, and whatever happens, and especially like let's kind of place a thought experiment on what happens if each candidate win. Of course, if Trump wins, we all know what's going to happen. Omega candle, God candle, Allah candle, Jesus candle, whoever you pray to, will show you his candle will show up on the chart, and obviously we'll see SEC, being, I think that's the number one thing that he's going to do. He's going to free Ross on day one, and he's going to also fire Gary Gensler on day one. That's at least what he said he'll do, and that will create a more favorable environment for utility tokens for people like Asaf. On the other hand, if Kamala wins and we get 4 more years of Operation Choke Point, then I don't see any other way that crypto goes, except, Bitcoin is in the clear from a regulatory standpoint. The ETF inflows show that the appetite is there and it's not stopping for no one. But
Right.
the rest of crypto will probably, just be meme dominated if we have another 4 years of Gensler, especially if they elevate into the Treasury Secretary. So, I'll definitely be watching memes, because memes are very, very dependent on the result of this election. Like, do we see a continuation of the meme coin super cycle, or do we see some sort of a shift back to utility token as a result of what happens tonight?
Yeah, so I believe that a lot of the inactivity that we've been seeing on this graph, this is Bitcoin over the last year. I think that a lot of the inactivity has been due to the elections and people just not knowing which way the election is going to go. Politics doesn't necessarily affect Bitcoin. I believe that they're wrong. I believe that, Bitcoin is going to go up either way. But I believe that, when you have a president of the United States who is a full-throated Bitcoin supporter, somebody who personally owns millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, has launched their own failed ICO, and has vowed to free Ross and fire Gary Gensler, like obviously that's going to be better for Bitcoin and better for crypto overall, and therefore and better for the economy, because we don't live in a bubble, right? And Bitcoin's price has been affected, I believe, more by macro forces and overall economic environment than I think most people care to realize. And we've done some research at Quantum Economics in the past regarding what influences Bitcoin's price the most, and our research at the time was that actually quantitative easing, the Federal Reserve printing money, was the single most biggest factor that contributed to Bitcoin going up. And when the Fed was printing money actively, price goes up faster than when they're tapering back and tightening monetary policy, restricting the economy, then Bitcoin gets more volatile. So I think that Trump is overall better for the economies. We saw last time Trump won, the S&P 500 gapped up like some 5 or 10%. I don't remember the numbers, but it was very, very clear on the charts. I do remember that one chart because I covered it at the time, just going like to the sky and never looking back. So I think that that's going to be overall better for all financial assets. Last 4 years have been tough for me personally, and I know for many people that I know personally, who just find it very tough, very difficult to survive in these economic conditions. And I believe that obviously, like, there isn't a one magic bullet. I don't think that Trump is going to be able to fix everything overnight. But I do believe that, if we see that administration with RFK and Elon Musk is actually able to slash government spending by a third or even in half, that's going to be very good for the economy. That's going to be very good for overall assets. It's going to be very good for just about jobs, and everybody's going to benefit from that. That said, it does come with a disclaimer that I generally don't like politics, generally despise politicians, and I don't think that Trump Donald Trump is a good person. I think that, maybe not the cleanest person in the world, and I don't like him as a person. But as far as them giving us a binary choice once every 4 years, I know my decision about that. But at the end of the day, we're going to need to figure out how to make the government smaller or burn it down and build it back up from scratch.
Thank you. I mean, I want to get you on like why you think it's been hard. I mean, the S&P's at record highs, gold at record highs, Bitcoin close to record highs. So, seemingly the economy looks like it's doing good from a superficial standpoint. So, why do you say it's been a hard time for you and for people that you're speaking to?
Well, if you look at the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar, you're going to see massive declines, first of all. But second of all, even if you look at the why is my screen not sharing here? Hold on. If you look at and I think that we've used this analogy before, we've discussed this before, the Venezuelan stock market, right? It skyrocketed. Well, the Bolivar tanked 1,000,000% in a single year. The Bolivar went through the roof. The Bolivar was going down. The Caracas stock index skyrocketed because it's priced in Bolivars, right? So it's a scale. So you're saying the S&P went up. It did not outpace inflation and the decline in the purchase power of the U.S. dollar, right? So S&P 500 going up at all-time highs makes sense, given that it's priced in U.S. dollars, which is going to add an all-time low. Gold is the same situation in every other asset that you compare it to. So here's the actual purchasing power of the U.S. dollar since 2020. It's not doing too hot. So when they devalue the money,
It's at 31 now, and it was at 38 in 2020.
Exactly. And when you devalue, the currency, everything looks like it's going up, but things are not actually getting better. There's not actually more wealth. There's less wealth happening.
Okay, I want to get a word in for myself, but before we do, let me tell you a bit about our sponsors, the great and powerful DLT Law. DLT Law is your go-to for all things legal in Web3. They were just in Dubai for the Finance Week. These guys are cooking. They have a full spectrum of services from token offerings to registration, incorporation, whatever it is you need. Give them a call, DLT Law, and make sure that if you need to build responsibly. So thank you for that. Asaf, before we get into the part of where we talk about your project and what you're building, maybe give us a little bit about how you're approaching this election, both individually and as someone that's building in the DeFi space. Obviously, the last 4 years have not been the easiest of times to be a builder in the token economy.
You can say that again. First of all, as an Israeli, I think that us want Trump to win is understandable, and this is what we need as a country, right? As far as the ecosystem, so yeah, you guys cover everything, and you explain exactly why we should we want Trump and not Camila. So that's it.
Yeah, cool. I think we did. We did cover quite a lot. So maybe let's get into part B, where we talk about your project, your product, what you're building. Give us a little bit of a taste about what is Intentable.
Yeah. So first of all, I didn't know that I can present, but I can. I think that you will find
Internet, you can do anything you want.
Exactly.
And disclaimer before we have Asaf, we did have a previous guest who was not happy with our line of questioning and threatened to sue us. So your being here does indicate your willingness to participate, and we're not taking down any videos afterward.
Sounds good. So I don't know how many projects you see behind the scene, but now I can show you stuff that you never show in the blockchain space, and I can guarantee that. And in the end of the presentation, I will share what we are going to issue next week or 2 weeks from now. And I think that you will find that very, very, very interesting.
Let's go.
Okay, let me explain what we are doing. So basically, when today everything work on smart contracts. Smart contract is very costly, take a lot of time to build. Let's say 3 to 6 months at least, and you need audit and so forth and so on. And what we did, we invented a new technology that we call smart transaction. So think of transaction that embedded inside all the logic, and you actually broadcast the transaction to the blockchain, and all the logic that you want is actually check while the transaction is running. You can connect any protocol to any protocol, add condition, validation, mathematic formula, whatever you want. So basically, you can replace 99% of the smart contract, and instead of 3 to 6 months, it's going to take you 25 minutes, 20 minutes to build a fully working app. So this is the technology. I can show you how we build an app. We can build a very nice app in this show in less than 5 minutes. And then I will actually show you what we actually build. And we go deep into DeFi, and we build stuff that you never saw in DeFi so far. You can see them on CeFi, but not in DeFi. And as I mentioned, I can show you in the end something that you never saw before. That's it. Sounds good.
Yeah, and before we do that, and I'm looking forward to seeing this. For everybody who's out there who's not a bot and watching, please let us know. Leave a comment and show us that you're an intelligent human being. If not, you could just say great show and move on with your day.
Trump 2024. You can also say that. Get us.
Then I had a Nigerian message me this morning. It says, "You voting for Trump?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Good." I'm praying for it. The guy in Nigeria, like, what?
Americans are like our proxies to pump our bags. So every holder in the world is just praying for the election results, and we can't do anything more than pray. Whereas you guys can actually go get out the vote. So, what do you think? I'm curious to see. I saw briefly stuff what you're talking about. And the smart transaction sounds cool, but I'm curious to see, some sort of a demonstration. What do you think, Mati?
I'm sorry, I missed that. I was typing something else that you were talking about to Asaf. What was the question?
No, I said I'm curious to see a demonstration. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go. I want to see the demonstration too, man. I'm waiting for it.
Okay, so let's build an app, right? Let's say that you guys have USDT, and you're probably going to be afraid of depegging, right? Let's say that you have 1 million USDT, and suddenly it's depeg, right? What can you do today? The answer is absolutely nothing. So let's build an app that protects us
You can
if USDT is
buy
depeg.
you can buy more USDT because it's going to repeg.
That's another app that you can build, but let's focus on this one. Okay. Okay. So I will do that, and then I will show you what we actually build for DeFi, as I mentioned. 1 second. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
So this is Intentable. Let's go to the builder. So I will create a new intent. And then you see that I have asset, I have tools, I have protocol that we support. Basically, you can bring any protocol by simply click here and then import the protocol. But let's focus on what we have right now. So we said that we want to build something that if USDT is depegging, then it will sell my entire USDT. So what I need to do, first of all, is to monitor USDT and USD ratio. So let's do that. I drag Chainlink, and then on Chainlink, I can choose USDT. And then I see the USDT price. Now let's add validation. So if it's less than, I drag less than and then connect on success. So now I will take the price and I will say if it's less than 0.95, let's say, then I want to do something. Now, what I want to do is up to me. I can extract money from liquidity. I can sell my token. I can do a lot of things. But in this example, let's see how many token I have, because I don't know when it's going to happen. So maybe I send some, maybe I receive some. So let's take balance off, choose USDT. And let's sell the entire balance off on Uniswap. So I'm going to take swap on Uniswap, connect on success. Let me increase that you guys can see. I will take the balance as a variable and the token as a variable, and then I will choose, let's say, USDC, right? The last thing that I need to do is just add approval. That's it. So I have a fully working transaction that monitor my USDT USD threshold, depegging, and if it's happened under 0.95, it take all my USDT from my wallet and basically sell it on Uniswap. I can run the transaction right now, and I can settle out, and I can simulate. So if I made a mistake while building, I can simulate and understand exactly where is the problem, where is the problem is. So this is the builder. The problem with that it's only for tech savvy, right? Not everyone can know. Not everyone know that they need Chainlink. They need approval less than to calculate. So we actually make this very, very easy to convert to an app. All you need to do is just mark all this, and then you click here, and then you can start extract input and output. So the first input will be obviously the one second, the ratio between. So I can change this. Let's give it a name, ratio between, and then I will take the depeg tolerance, and also I will give it a name, depeg tolerance. And the token that I want to sell, this is in this case USDT, sorry, and the token that I want to buy. Now, the last thing that I want the user to see is probably the current ratio. So let's take this as an output to here, and let's change this to current ratio, the name. Now, if I go here, now it starts to look like an app. You can see the ratio between, and the customer can choose the DPEG tolerance, USDT and USDC, and so forth and so on. Now, let's convert this to something that's much easier to the user. So I will click on Intent, Show, and now you can see that I don't have anything. So I can start typing here. I want to check the ratio between USDT and USDC. If it's below 0.95, I want to swap all my USDT to USDC, and let's add the current ratio. That's it. Now let's give it a name. Let's say test 222, and I'm coming here, click on monetize intent, and I can choose the logo. Let's say this logo, just for the sake of the example. and I can explain the customer what this app is all about, and I will add the first version. And now I will import what we just built and click on preview. So now you can see that the customer see I want to check the ratio between USDT and USDC. If it's below 0.95, I want to swap all my USDT to USDC. The customer obviously can change this and choose to check USDC to USD and then sell USDC to I don't know, let's say DAI. And he can also decide that he's willing to take chance until 0.9. So this is how we build an app. And let me show you what we actually built. So this is a table of different token. Let's click on Koti, for example. And once I see that, I can see that I have option to buy or to sell token. But this time, I have at market price with math protection, take profit, stop loss, limit order, all the kind of stuff that you used to see on Binance and other CeFi platform, but you don't see on DeFi. Maybe limit order you can see on Uniswap, but not more than that. So let's click on, let's say, stop limit on Koti. And you can see the graph. I can choose that. I can change that. And then you can see I want to sell amount of Koti, let's say 100,000. And you can see that I'm supposed to receive 3.2 ETH. So I will say only if it's below 3, I want to sell, but not if it's below 2.5. So in this way, I can set a stop limit on a token that is actually in my MetaMask and sign the transaction. I can define until when this transaction is valid. And if it's happened in this period of time, it will actually execute. Now, just to show you how this, I show you how we build, but let's see how this app is look like. So if I go to, 1 second, just for you to understand the power of the builder. So this is the app that you just saw. See. So there is a lot of different aspect in this app. It's check a lot of thing. It's look very, very simple, but in the builder, it's actually we have to make some work in order for that to work. But this is how we actually build each one of these amazing transaction. So this is part one. I can show you some cool stuff here, and then I will speak of what we are going to issue next week. So first of all, a lot of time when you want to buy token, you want to see if the social network is what is the sentiment, right? So let's say if I go to Sushi and I click on here, so now I can see that there is only 87 creator, 1,131 posts and 22,000 engagement. Most of them is probably positive, but this is something that can help you to decide what to do with the token. And one more cool thing that we add, you guys know how many token went published on June 2024?
347
I think about 1 million.
million. Okay,
Million. Yeah.
that was way off.
You know how many of them?
In one day?
Say again?
In one day?
No, in June.
In the whole month. Okay.
Yeah. So about 1 million, and most of them were crap scam.
Meme coins,
So,
sure.
so what we did here, you can go to hot token, and then you can filter, and then this system start to screen out all the scam, no scammer, bad smart contract, token smart contract, and then it will show you only the token that is actually bulletproof in this example. So this is what we build, and let me explain to you what we are going to build next week, and then I will show you.
Well, before we do that, first of all, I wanted to encourage anybody who is a live human being and watching us now, please leave a comment and let us know. We've got a lot of people who are saying things like cool, hello, and nice. But if you could tell us, like, you know, if you're a human and watching, we'd appreciate that. So at least we know that we're not wasting our time out here for empty view counts. I got a whole bunch of questions for you, Asaf, and this actually looks like a really powerful tool that you've built. Fundamentally, and I'd like to know, how can we be sure, without being like a coder or something like that, that what you've built is safe and secure? It seems like we're giving you access to our wallets and stuff like that. So how can we know that the tool that we've used will not be used for malicious purposes, either by yourself and your team or by external actors who might find a hole and exploit your code?
So this is a very good question. First of all, you don't give access to me or to anyone. When you connect to the system, and by the way, I have to say that this system is prohibited for U.S. and Israeli
Of course it is.
but when you go to the system and you open an account, you basically create your own account abstraction. So this account abstraction is your account, similar to Gnosis or to Argent wallet. And the only way to access this account abstraction is by the MetaMask that actually open this account abstraction. So no one have access to the money beside you. Okay. Now, when you sign transaction, and this is very a cool thing to show. Let me go to the marketplace. Let's say that I want to send to multiple people, right? So here I can say I want to send to 10 different people, and you can see immediately I see that. I can choose different token, different amount. But let's say that I want to send to 2 people, right? So let me put some addresses, and I think this will answer your question. So let's say that I want to send USDC and USDT. Now, when I click it, I can see configuration of this transaction. Let's say that I want to send salaries. So salaries I want to send multiple times. So let's change this to 2025. This is the end of this transaction. And I will say that it has to be a recurrency every 30 days for the next, for 12 times. Now, when I sign this transaction, I can actually see exactly what I sign on. This is not transaction that is like a smart contract that you don't know what you sign on. So you see that I'm sending exactly what is the date that is valid from until, and what is the maximum repeat, what is the chill time. So everything here you actually see. You see that I'm sending USDC from this account to that account, and how much USDC and how much USDT. So everything here basically you can see, and it's valid also when you sign this transaction. So if I click here and sign, I will see the same thing.
I think we all need a little bit of chill time, right? But what are some of the other applications? So okay, sending salaries or automatically, automated market orders. I think that those can be done already using existing tools. What are some of the most interesting applications for this product that you've seen so far, and what are the things that you're imagining 5-10 years down the line that we'll be able to do with your product that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
So let's speak about 2 weeks, not 5 weeks. um, did you ever see a table like here? You see table of token. Did you ever see a table of token of LP token?
Like on DeFi Llama?
Yeah, but it's only information, not like to buy. So DeFi Llama can show you LP if you invest in LP token, this is the APY that you will receive. The problem with that if I buy a token and I don't know, the APY is 2,000% because of the fee, but then the token price dropped to 99%, I actually losing money. So what we are doing, and it will be ready in 2 weeks, you will have a table. This is the table that you will see only LP. And then you don't need to worry about anything. You can say, hey, I want to buy $10,000 worth of Coty LP. And then you can set stop loss. I want to sell my LP if the value is 9,500, regardless if it's because slippage, if it's because the token drop. I don't care why. I invest 10,000, and if it's dropped to 9,500 to sell. So this is the first time that you actually, the difference between LP and regular token is that regular token you can only gain if the price went up. But if the price remain, you will not make any money. And also if the price drop. Here on LP, you can say if the price went up, obviously I went up. If the price remain, like I bought at $10 and it's still $10, I actually make money because of the fee. And if the price drop, I can still make money.
So you're basically creating a stop loss for yield farming and all that kind of.
Yeah. But again, you don't have to open the pool. You don't have to go to Uniswap to decide how much you want to put here, how much you want to put there, and wake up at 3 p.m. because you want to check that everything in the pool is good. No, you just buy the token from the table, and again, it's on your wallet, and then you can set stop loss, limit order, even take profit on the same money. And for your question, this is the key. Think about it. When I set up the DPEG protection, it's on the same money that maybe sit in liquidity, maybe sit on Aave, and this kind of stuff. Now, you ask what it will be in the future. So in the future, you will see copy trade, not in the far future, like a month or so. You will see copy trade. So I can take your wallet and I can say, do that, whatever this wallet is doing, do that. I can even set up short sale. Let's say that I think that Ether, just to the people that doesn't know what is short sale, let's say that I believe that Ether price is going to drop. So I can deposit USDT on Aave and take ETH as a loan, sell this ETH on Uniswap, and then wait for the price will drop, and then buy the ETH and give back the loan.
What are the transaction fees going to be on something like that?
1 second, just to finish this sentence. So when you do that, you only do that because you feel like you think that ETH is going to drop. Here, you will have it soon that you can trade according to indicator. So I can say that only if RSI is relative strength index, only if RSI is above 18, that indicate that the price is going to drop. Only then this transaction will happen. And until that moment, this money is sitting on Uniswap pool as a liquidity or other stuff.
Yeah, we know how these market trigger alerts and orders. That's not an issue. My question was regarding the transaction fees. So we've seen before how people come up with these brilliant, smart contract solutions for automated trading, and then you come to the transaction fees, and it just gobbles everything up. And you'd have to. I mean, you'd have to have a really good trade, an excellent trade in order to just cover the transaction costs. So
That's a good question. When you sign transaction here, you define what is the maximum gas price that you're willing to pay.
okay.
But this is gas price according to there is a system of activator here, similar to miner, that actually activate the transaction for you. Just to explain, when you sign transaction, this transaction, if you broadcast to the blockchain right now, the transaction will fail because the condition is not met.
Have you done any optimization as far as minimizing the transaction costs for your users? And then is there an additional cut for you guys, or how do you guys make your money?
So the answer is that yes, we
But
we
we're running
optimize.
out of time here.
Say again.
I know that's two different questions, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, so the answer is yes. We actually optimize the gas, and we are going to optimize them more in the next 2 sprints, so next month. And also, when you sign transaction, as I said, you mentioned how much you're willing to pay, and there is activator. Activator, the transaction when you sign, it's not valid yet, right? It's future transaction. So this transaction broadcasts to activator, and this activator, once the transaction met, they broadcast the transaction for you. They pay the gas, and then they can take the money that you actually decide how much you want to pay for this transaction. So yes, we have a cut, but the transaction is more costly than regular transaction on blockchain.
What's your cut?
It depends if you are activator or not. If you are activator, your cut is like about 2 times,
2 times whatever the gas fee is.
give or take. Yeah.
So triple or double? Triple the gas.
Double.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's not horrendous. So you're just basically taking whatever the gas fee is on top of the transaction.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And just more broadly, where can the users find your app? What's it called?
At app.intentable.io.
Intentable?
Yeah.
I want to retweet it now, and then
or put it up on the screen for everybody watching the record. Obviously, there's no humans here today. I don't know where all the humans are. Just bots and stuff. Which we appreciate you guys too, and if you are, definitely we appreciate your engagement and attention. However, what was I going to say? And where are you guys as far as your funding cycle? How long have you guys been operating? How many employees, and where are we?
The company is since 2018. We pivoted 3 years ago, so we start to build it 3 years ago. We just finished 6 months ago, 6 weeks 6 week ago. We received 4 grants from the Israeli Innovation Authority year after year. What you see here is more than 1 million line of code, so this is a lot of work, and that's it. So
Can an
the
AI?
Israeli Innovation Authority gave a grant to a crypto project.
You're gonna have to explain me how that works, because I need one of those too. If you have somebody you can introduce me to, I would appreciate it. So can an AI come?
You can ask me because we file every time we file by ourselves. So.
I would love to, because Cora Finance is innovating. We have Ernst & Young, who's ready to give us a recommendation letter for being a PTE. But my question was more about integration, because we're building an app that's making DeFi easy for users by giving them an AI chat interface and mobile app wallet. Would it be something that'd be an easy fit for us to come and integrate a solution like yours? Would our AI be able to come and tell your AI what to do, and how to route transactions, and do the IFFT thing?
Yeah, so basically we have SDK, so you can build everything that you want on the builder, and then you can take the code, and run it on your server and just build the UI. So it's going to take you like a week to build something that work. Everything that you see here, if you have the SDK, you can basically take and put in your platform. And definitely AI is something that we definitely check, because AI today only give you information, doesn't give you execution. So
And that's
this
what
is
we're doing.
again.
That's what we're doing. Our AI is already ready to execute. It's
So,
already built.
so imagine an AI that can take this and actually execute it on the blockchain. You can simulate before you execute, because it's money. You don't want to, you know. Um, so it's a lot. Like if you take, just for the sake of explanation, if you take one protocol and there is 15 different options to connect this protocol, and you connect it to another protocol with 15 different options to connect, so it's like a huge amount of different options to connect. So imagine that you can go to your AI and say, hey, this is the protocol, I have $1 million, find me a way if I do that in the next hour to make it $1.2 million. And then you can simulate to verify the AI. So this is what you can do with this system.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Cool. That's
I've got a
about
question for both. I've got a question for both you guys, and maybe we can end off for that. Like, just in a general sense, like, you writing a million lines of code to make DeFi easy, more accessible, or whatever. But over the long term, obviously, what autonomous finance. That's the way it's going. Like, you don't want to call your banker for anything, and we all believe in it for a reason. And short-term trends will come and go. But over the next, like, short, medium term, like, is there a demand out there for DeFi type things? It seems like memes is the only game in town right now. Like, how do you guys view the process, the market, the landscape as DeFi builders in a world of memes?
You asking me?
Go ahead. Guess
Both of
first.
you're both building DeFi, and it's kind of it's like I don't know, it's like building skinny jeans in
Okay, so
2024.
let me predict the future here,
No
Dudu.
one's wearing
You
skinny
think
jeans
memes are,
anymore. It's
are
baggy
still
now.
hot right now. Okay, memes are hot. Okay, but they're a hot steaming pilot. Okay, now there are some meme coins that are going to make it big league, but I think that really we're talking about maybe a handful. Most of them are going to crash. People thought the NFT hype would last forever, but when you invest in hype, it comes and goes, and it doesn't last for a very long time. I mean, it can last for a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years, but eventually, if there's nothing substantial to prop up the value and to maintain the value, people's attention is going to move elsewhere, and they're going to sell that crap. So I'm not going to say like don't sell them short, because that's a good way to lose money, because hype can get much bigger than you'd ever imagine. But eventually, it's not going to last. It's not going to stand the test of time. And when you're doing an investment, you really want to invest in something that creates wealth and generates some sort of value. And if it's not doing that, you probably shouldn't be investing in it. It's just trading, it's gambling, and you're going to lose your ass. So that's my take.
So I think that the meme token is just the simple thing, that the basic thing that the user wants is to make money, and meme token seems to be the new way to make money. The user always seek for a new way to make money, and this is we actually build this entire Intentable trading for that. So we are focusing on making money, hedging, stop loss, limit order, take profit, indicator based trading, and also APY based trading. And the difference between these is that we actually think that the user shouldn't be that sophisticated. He has to understand what he's doing, but he doesn't need to know exactly what limit order is. So we actually write in simple English what he actually what he want to do, what is his intent. If he want to sell under 10,000, this is what is going to happen. And for the meme token, again, you can make a lot of money if you screen out the scammer, and if you protect yourself and take profit and limit order in the right time, you can make a lot of money. I can say that I'm making money every week by just 2 hours playing with some token. And I think that once we have the LP token line up, it will be much easier. Again, this is not an investment advice. You should consult your own people to make your investment. And if you are an Israeli and American, please don't use the system. It will also black your IP. So you can see everything, but you cannot send transaction because of your IP.
Why is it blocked if it's DeFi? Like DeFi is usually, I mean, it's peer to peer. Your system. There's no custodial. There's no centralized entity. You're creating a chain abstraction, account abstraction for the user. So I'm curious, why is it not available in these countries?
We do want to issue a token one day. So when we issue a token, and you only can pay with the token, or you get like better fees. So obviously we don't want to sell this to a U.S. citizen or Israeli. This is one. Second, there is a lot of different rules, different regulation. Israel is not the easy one. You can see, for example, eToro doesn't operate in Israel, even though they have license and
They
everything.
do. They
Maybe
have
it's a minimum 10,000 US deposit.
I know because I was the account manager for Israeli clients.
Okay, sorry about that. So I'm just saying,
They usually don't. I mean, it's there's no reason for it. Anybody who's on that level are like,
yeah. And don't forget that we are a company that actually filed to the Israeli SAC and asked permission to sell the token. And they specifically said that we cannot sell the token. It was like,
we're going for a pre-sale with Cora. We've opened up a BVI entity for it. There's no reason to you can't sell a token in Israel. That's already case closed. Maybe after 4 years of Trump,
maybe.
Israel will change their minds. But for now, you got to do it. You got to do it offshores.
No.
Okay, cool. Any closing thoughts from you guys before we sign off for today? It's been an excellent session. Asaf, thank you for the demonstration. And it seems like you have Mati's attention, which is more than we can say for 90% of our guests.
Yeah, don't watch the recordings of our other shows. They can get ugly sometimes.
I mean, we don't have that recording up, but I'm gonna actually I'm actually writing a post about it without names. But there's been a lot of talk about Eigenlayer, the restaking protocol, because apparently the founder spent company funds on ladyboys at DEF CON in Thailand. So the token price has just sunk to the ground. And everyone's like obviously focusing on the behavior of the founder, but it's obviously raising a lot of questions about where the yield's coming from and all that. So I'm planning a little thread about that. Like I think it's that's kind of where I think the focus of the show needs to be, the focus of our lives needs to be. And you put it well, Mati, when you said like creating wealth, generating wealth, real world value. At the end of the day, and it's just kind of come back to the Bitcoin thesis that I posted a bit earlier. Like technology is supposed to increase productivity gains. It's supposed to make people wealthier and goods and services cheaper. So obviously there'll still be inequality. People will, not everyone will have the same as each other. There'll still be people that are wealthier and can afford better hotels and better vacations and better houses. But the baseline of financial security, of time abundance, having more time, not having to work 70 hours a week in order to make your money, the basics of food, shelter, clothing, that should be available to all, healthcare. And what we want to focus on here is really those inventions like that are making that a reality, that are kind of bringing positive sum gains of productivity gains to the world, helping us move closer to some sort of technotopia vision, as opposed to just let's sit and gamble and play video games and so that's kind of like that's kind of, or at least where my thinking. I don't know where I started that rant off, but that's a good place to close, I think. So thank you guys, thank you Asaf for joining. We'll be in touch soon. We'll hope to have you on soon, especially when TGE. That's what we want to kind of end off with. What's your kind of thinking around that?
You ask a question I didn't understand.
I thought I
When
did ask.
TGE?
When's your token? When are you making a token? When's your token?
When TGE?
Oh, I wish I knew. It's depend on the user, how many user, how many activity. Currently, we have 800 user, and we're growing. It's only 6 weeks since we launched, so you should monitor. You should watch. It will be fast and quick once we decide.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, you're probably watching for the election results as well, because the Trump victory can definitely, I think a lot of people are watching for the election result. I've seen, a number of projects pre-TGE, and people are just delaying those TGEs. And the ones that are launching tokens in this environment, a lot of them are getting refund requests, and they're not hitting their cap. So, everything rests on, it's at least for new token projects. Everything rests on the next 24 hours. Mati, hopefully next time we speak, we will be in a new era, the era of abundance, the era of token pumps, the era of listing of, we want to see that activity. And that's been very, very quiet over the last 6 months on a new token front. So, watch this space. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to bots. Thank you to Mati. Thank you to all the real people tuning in. We will see you next week on the Yalla Breakfast Show.
Thank you, guys.
Asaf, I messaged you on LinkedIn. Apparently, we have an interesting chat.